Welcome to Inside EKU Sports, production of Eastern Kentucky University Athletics. Mark Elder is with me as we have opened the college football season. Tough ask to go to Big Ten country, Ross-Ade Stadium, play Purdue. You guys fell behind 21-0, but a lot of grit in coming back, closing it down to 10 at halftime.
Sure. We put ourselves way behind the eight ball. When you go out there and you turn the ball over 3 straight times, essentially just handing them 14 points. You give them the ball on the 23-yard line going in. That's a tough spot to put your defense in. They got 7 out of that. Then the pick 6. We hand them 14 points, and we go down 21-0 with 10 and something to go, or 10 into the game. You're looking at it, it's a tough game, and we're a brand new staff that we're doing things differently, and that was really a critical point when you look at how these guys are going to react. And at that point in time, facing a ton of adversity, there could have been some people throwing the towel in and saying, hey, this isn't our day, starting to question things and so forth, and you didn't see that. You see guys fighting back and believing in what we're doing and believing in each other. And that was huge. And we ended up outgaining Purdue at halftime, fighting back to a 28-18 game and had a chance to drive and try to even cut that down even further right before half. So you saw some very positive things, some resilience from the guys, which was great. They wore us down a little bit in the fourth quarter as far as just being able to run the football on us and monopolize the game clock there at the end of the game, but you saw a lot of resilience, and some guys stepped up and made some plays against a very talented Purdue team.
Well, the Colonels, as we said, were down 21-0, and then as you got to start to roll, you had used both Matty Mock and Benny Coney at quarterback. Coney hits Dan Crimmins, your tight end, for a 10-yard touchdown to get on the board. Yes,
and absolutely, we went with the plan at the quarterback position, which was we're going to start Matty in the game, we're going to have him play a couple series, then we're going to put Benny in the game, have him play a couple series, and then play with the hot hand. And as we've been talking about this whole time, we feel like we have 3 very, very good quarterbacks that are capable of winning a lot of games for us and leading us to championship around here. So it's more than one guy that's capable. We wanted to give both guys an opportunity and play with the hot hand because that's really a positive that we have, to have more than one guy at that position that's capable. So at that moment, Benny had the hot hand, so we put him back in and kept him going for the remainder of the half, and he did some good things. It was good to see.
Ethan Thomas had a 10-yard touchdown run, 60 yards in the day. You don't have a lot of depth at offensive line, but on a hot day, I thought the guys held up pretty well up front, and you opened some holes at times, especially, as you said, in the first half.
Yes, absolutely. In the first half, we were able to move the ball in Purdue, and that, a lot of that in the run game was due to our tempo. We were playing at a fast pace. We were going, turning the ball over pretty quick. I mean, we had a couple snaps that were 10 seconds, a couple at 11. We had a lot that were under 15. So that's moving at a pretty good rate right there. Felt like that played to our advantage. They were not ready for the tempo as far as they're gassed. They don't play real fast a whole bunch. So that was an advantage for us that we did a good job with. And I think that led to us being able to march down the field on them a few times. And obviously, we just got to take care of the football a little bit better than what we did, or a lot better than what we did. If we do that, we can make that a ball game going into the fourth quarter.
Second half, Purdue was able to bog you down a lot more, only 36 yards the first 6 possessions, and not converting on third downs, only 2 first downs. Did they make a lot of changes, or was it an attrition type of situation in the second half, different than the first half?
I didn't see a ton of changes on their side of things. It was just really a lack of us being able to get the first down. I mean, the first half, I believe we were 10 of 14 on third down, which is a pretty good rate. I mean, if you're getting first downs at that type of rate on third down, we're pretty good. And then we went 0 for the second half, if I remember correctly. And it's difficult. If you can't get first downs early in the series and you get in third down, it's very, very difficult to have put together any type of momentum when you get put in 3rd and long. So we got to do a little bit better on first down efficiencies, and then we got to convert on 3rd downs. And you saw some guys in the first half. I mean, you saw LJ go out there and made a couple really nice catches on 3rd down that sustained drives. And then we just didn't get that in the second half, and that's not going to lead to a lot of success if you can't get that first down and then start playing with the tempo that was leading to more success. We got to be able to do that in the future.
We're going to hear more from Mark Elder about U-Pike, the home opener, later in the show. But next, before he was an Olympian in Rio, he was a cross-country runner at Eastern. We'll meet Olay and talk with him about his experience when Inside EKU Sports continues.
Every day is a concept that few people can commit to. Every day requires a level of dedication that forces you to test your limits.
Every day I'll give back to the community because I draw strength from their support. Every day the sounds of your cheers will echo through my mind. Knowing that you have my back means I can always look forward.
Every day I'll be too tired to sweat and my bones will ache. Every day will provide me with the slight edge that I need to succeed. Champions are built every day.
Former EKU cross-country runner Olay Hesselberg competed for Denmark in the Olympics in Rio. He joins us via Skype from Denmark. And Olay, first of all, what was your reaction when you found out I've made the Olympic team?
Obviously, I was super happy. You know, it's been a goal and a dream of mine for quite some time. So yeah, it's just basically happiness, and I've been working so hard for it for a lot of years, and especially this year, it's been tough, like, because it took me such a long time to qualify. So yeah, I was very pleased.
Before the Olympics, you trained in the Swiss Alps. What was that like, and then making the transition to competing in Rio?
Yeah, you know, that's the whole point of going in the mountains, because you're struggling in the mountains, and then when you come down to Rio, you're like feeling great. There's way more oxygen in the air, and so it wasn't too bad. The only thing was the heat. It was pretty hot, and the humidity was also pretty high, but I feel like I was used to that from Kentucky.
Just before the race, you're in the stadium at the starting line. Did you have a chance at all to take in the moment?
Yeah, you know, I promised my coach when I was in there that I would take a look around the stadium just to see where I was actually at and try and enjoy it a little bit. But, you know, you're still so focused on your race, and you want to try and perform what you can do and show everybody why you're there. So I try to focus on the race most of all, but obviously it was a huge experience, and I'm not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous in the cold room before I entered the track.
Take us through the race itself.
Well, I mean, coming in, I was seated second to last. Like I said, I barely made it there, so like basically anything I did would be acceptable. But I wish I would have run a little quicker. Like time-wise, it wasn't very good. But I ended up in the last heat, and it was kind of quick from the gun. And some of those guys are so much better than me that I struggled staying on them, and I think if I would have been in another heat, I would have been able to stay with them for a longer time. But overall, it was what I had on the day, and like I did way better than my seed was before, like both among everybody in the world and among the Europeans. But you know, you always hope for a little bit more. You hope you can do the best you've done at that stage. But it's been a long season and took a lot of work just to be there.
I hear you missed out on the opening ceremonies. What happened?
When I got there, honestly, I was a little upset that I didn't get to go. But again, apparently it's limited spaces. Everybody's not like allowed to go because there's so many people. But it didn't really affect me that much. Like on the day, I was a little disappointed. I kind of wanted to experience, but the day after, it was like, oh, it's not a big deal. I'll just focus on the race and have that in mind more than anything else.
You were able to attend the closing ceremonies. What was that experience like?
Unfortunately, it was raining, which made it like, I don't know, all the athletes had to sit down on the field, and it was raining down on us. So we kind of snuck off and got on the like, what do you call it? Where everybody else was sitting, basically. So we had no rain up there. And then it was just basically at the end, they were just playing great music, and the whole stadium was dancing. So that's pretty cool.
We hear so much about the Olympic Village. What was the experience of living there like?
You know, it was pretty amazing. It's a pretty awesome experience just walking around down there and just looking around. And, you know, you saw all these guys you've seen on TV for so many years. And you were like, oh, dang, I'm a part of this now. Looking over and you saw like all the track stars. So like, yeah, everybody basically is pretty awesome.
What else were you able to visit while you were in Rio?
I got to see handball, badminton, and then I got to see the American Dream Team, or no, well, not the Dream Team, but the basketball team.
So your takeaway from the Olympics, what's your favorite memory?
It would be stepping onto that track and knowing that, I'm finally get to race the best in the world, and hopefully not for the last time, but that's probably it. That's for sure it.
Are you pointing towards Tokyo 2020, the site of the next Olympics?
I mean, if I'm not there, I'll be fairly disappointed. Like, yeah, I want to be there, but there's a lot of races going on the next couple of years as well that's basically on the same level. So, like, I get to test myself a lot more against the best in the world the next couple of years, and hopefully I'll be way more ready to compete in 2020.
Finally, Olay, what do you want to say to all the Curdle fans that have followed your career here at Eastern and then cheered you on during the Olympics in Rio?
Well, I want to thank everybody for cheering me. Like, after the race and before the race, for that matter, there's a huge amount of interest. Like, my Facebook basically exploded, and I tried to get back to everybody as fast as I could, but it took a little while. But I want to say thanks to everybody for all the support.
Thanks, Olay. You've made us all proud. Olay Hesselberg, an Olympian, speaking to us via Skype from Denmark. Well, the home openers against UPike. We'll talk with Mark Elder about that on Inside EKU Sports. And we'll meet one EKU class digging up history.
10 seconds to go. Harper coming forward. Moves in top of the key. 6 seconds to go. The three.
We are excavating the past, learning about the unwritten histories that are underneath our feet. The field school offers students an opportunity to take what we've learned in the classroom and actually apply it in a way that makes a difference. For the 2016 Archaeological Field School, we are at a prehistoric rock shelter in Daniel Boone National Forest in Jackson County, Kentucky. We chose these sites after talking with the Daniel Boone National Forest Service archaeologists and finding out what their needs are and evaluating the sites for the National Register of Historic Places. The U.S. Forest Service has thousands of sites that it manages. Very few of them have been investigated to any significant level, and what we're able to do is investigate a number of sites and assist them in their mission of preserving and protecting America's prehistoric heritage.
We've done some excavations with the archaeologists that we have, and usually that's only been 5 or 6 people at the most. And I'm really amazed because the shelters I've worked on, we might have a couple of units open, maybe 3 or 4, but nothing like these students have been able to do. So it was kind of a win-win for all of us.
Working with the Forest Service has been really interesting, and it's been a very close-knit experience. It feels more like I'm working for a company versus a school project.
The information I had when I first began investigating this site was very minimal, and it suggested that the site is actually pretty late, probably after AD 1000. But when we began excavating, we found artifacts that date as early as 9,400 years. And one of the things that the students have an opportunity to do is focus in on relationships of artifacts with features and post holes and fire pits. So we're getting to see like the big picture and begin to approach human behaviors rather than just artifacts.
We're finding things that tell us about people that lived here 9,000, 10,000 years ago. This is Kentucky history at its heart.
The Curdles welcome UPike to Roy Kidd Stadium for Thursday night game that will open the home portion of the schedule. Pikeville is 2-0, good win over a ranked NAIA team, and they come in with a coach that was a quarterback at EKU and Alan Holland Jr. From 10 years ago. So, he'll have his team ready, and he'll be excited to be back where he played his college football.
Absolutely. I've gotten a chance to meet and know Coach Holland a little bit. Great guy. I think he's doing a really nice job over there at U-Pike. You can see that thing is building up and getting better and better every year. So he's doing a really nice job over there. They got 2 wins. And I'll say this, that there's a lot that can be taken about those 2 wins. First, they have a goal line stand on the first game to win it. And there's no better way to win a ball game than your opponent's on the 1-yard line and all the marbles are on this play, and to have your defense step up and get a big stop there to win it. That says a lot about the team. It says a lot about the direction that they're headed. And then obviously last week they had a nice win over a ranked team. But again, it's a close game, and there's you learn a lot and you gain a lot from being able to play in close games and get wins, because it means that you're competing for 4 quarters, and it means that you have to have a lot of belief in what you're doing, because when it's a close game like they've had a couple of them, obviously there's been adversity. There's been times that they've had to battle back and fight back a little bit, and speaks volumes about the belief in the system and how well they're doing and growing that program. So it's going to be a big challenge offensively. They got a quarterback that's completing the ball at a really high rate. He's completing almost 70% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, no interceptions, a really good decision maker, distributes the ball well, got a solid arm. So I think everything starts with him. They got a nice running back who is elusive, can make you miss. He's done a really nice job, and they've got a plethora of receivers out there that are making plays. So we're going to have to be on our A game defensively to stop them, because they do a really nice job offensively. Defensively, I think similar to last week, their strength is up front. I see a couple defensive ends, number 82. Tall, long player. Was an all-conference player a year ago. He's really a good player. Number 33 is listed as a linebacker, but in the last week's film, he was playing defensive end. Getting off of blocks, he's coming off of the edge. He does a really nice job. They got a couple really good linebackers that run around sideline to sideline and make plays. So I think they're a very good team. It's going to be an exciting matchup on Thursday night.
All right, Sonny Warren is their quarterback that you mentioned, and they scored on 5 of 6 possessions in that game against Campbellsville to stay ahead. I mean, they were having to fight to stay ahead, and they did it. So it'll be a challenge. Good luck against U-Pike. It's going to be fun when you have a home opener. It's always a great crowd and a great night, Mark.
Yeah, Thursday night, expecting the students to come out and support. It'll be a ton of fun. Can't wait.
All right. Keep up with EKU Sports wherever you are. Like and follow our channels on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And thanks for joining us, and we'll see you again next week for another edition of Inside EKU Sports.